Um, just taking some nostalgic photos of some photos that were taken 10 years ago, not far from this actual place, because this area does have quite a lot of water locally, even though it's but I didn't see a lot of it, but I took these photos when I first bothered to even expand my observation of even the local area, which shows you that you can be very mind controlled in your area, where you don't even have a look around even, much less think that it's scenic to where you take a photo. But this was just as the sun was coming up in this particular spot, which has now got a walkway through it, but even though I haven't been there for quite a bit, and I hadn't been there for a number of years when we walked the dog when he was still here, and saw that they had built a walkway in this very spot. So if I was there now, I wouldn't be able to film this type of scene. But I think the sun was very bright and big in those days, 10 years ago, and it was quite scenic the way it hits the water, just as it comes up in the early morning in some spots around. And I just took the photos because I thought the seagulls looked pretty as they went through the water with the sun coming up. Of course, the android beings will see you doing this and they will take similar photos, but they themselves probably wouldn't actually observe it or think it was pretty. But if they see you doing it, then they observe that, they read your mind, they see that it's something that is just a different way of looking at things, I suppose, although most people would say most human beings probably would, if they were normal or if they weren't restricted as I had in my life, would notice the sun rising or the sun setting, and that it often looks good on the water or something. But those birds, I hope that picture's coming out. See if I can film it before the mobile runs out of space. See, they just happened for a few minutes, just swim across that little bit of water as the big sun was coming up and hitting the water. It was just as it was coming up. This happens, of course, everywhere, so you can take a photo of these things. But I think the sun was definitely more impressive back 10 years ago. Something has definitely changed about these things, I would say. Some people would say that's a natural phenomenon. If you're more inclined towards a matrix, as I've become in the last 6 years, even though these photos were taken a few years before that, but I was more mobile and more interested back then, whereas now I'm not only less mobile but less interested in even the natural reality, because if I was around back then, I would have had patrollers trying to distract me from taking the photo. I would have to say that back then there were patrollers. It's just that they were not intrusive, they were secret. Whereas when the android beings around you, or even just if you think they're real people that are narcissistic in their personality, shall we say, because we're now learning about all of that, aren't we? Because many people realise in their personal interactions that often you're interacting or having a you're having an encounter with someone that actually is not friendly. May appear to be friendly, but they are operating in the spirit of what they call narcissism, which is, apart from using it in a spiritual terminology, in a practical sense, it just simply means that those individuals are operating in a kind of competitive malevolent attitude towards you, because as they tend to be in the spirit of narcissism, which is like where it's all about self to the exclusion of everyone and everything else. It's kind of and that's a survival paranoid but also observational competitive kind of way of looking at everyone. It's like it's no different to when you're young and you notice others around you a lot more, and you compare yourself. It's where you're making probably unfavourable comparisons all the time, to where eventually the spirit of narcissism and envy takes over, to where you feel threatened by other people, and everything appears to be this very competitive game against other people that are unaware of that. Some may be aware of it, but I don't think I've explained that very well. I think I'll just do these photos instead of trying to be like the pretentious demigod know-it-alls that dominate the internet and the YouTube and any section of any screen. Basically, any screen is total mind control of a human being. They're basically downloading your thoughts, your ideas, if you're a human being, and using them to control you one way or another, whether it be in a pleasant manner or a influential manner, or even in a negative manner. Often they will, if you're a real human being and you're getting any sort of happiness from the screen, they will interface it. And I say interface because that means interfacing with your mind. They will interface it with negative stuff in order to keep you under control, because basically it's a frequency vibration control system of a human being, or a mood control of a human being, a feelings control of a human being, which is frequency and vibration. If you take it at the bigger level, where you're told that everything is frequency and vibration, then it's their way of keeping control of not just you, because only human beings have the potential for all emotions, all feelings, and therefore all frequencies and vibrations. Whereas the controlling ones, they cannot put out any positive or higher frequencies and vibrations, because they don't operate in the happy vibration, shall we say. They don't need that, they don't desire that, they don't even they don't feel that, they don't experience that. artificial intelligence doesn't experience any happy vibes. How can it? You know, it might smile and copy that using its vast intelligence, but that's not experiencing it. That's using the human emotions to copy and imitate in order to control you. You know, it's seduction. You know, if you pretend to be you know, Don Juan, shall we say, you know, a great lover, when you don't really believe in love or experience it, that's controlling that other person through their desire or their need, their fantasy, shall we say, you know. So you know, so it's like controlling through trying to understand what a human being wants or needs, because that probably wouldn't come natural to technology. Technology is advanced intelligence, or you know, deciphering information, isn't it? A computer like gets information and then puts it out, deciphers it and puts it out, doesn't it? Isn't that what a computer does? But they're getting most of that, especially the emotional information, from understanding the psychology of the human mind. So they read the human mind, the human thoughts, try to understand their feelings and emotions and their way of looking at things, so that then they can imitate that in order to influence and control them, you see. That's what the computer does. But, you know, like, it appears to be informative, because even like myself, I learn things from it, or get to understand things where I haven't, where I may not have understood it, because I might be getting not just my own thoughts and information relayed back to me, but I could also be getting it from other human beings. So therefore I think the technology is very very human and very advanced and very informative. And it would be if it wasn't really about control, but it is. Also the demigod androgyne beings, which largely will tell you the information on the screen, because most human beings will not be successful on the internet, YouTube, or any branches of computer or any screen usually. It would have to be a great fluke or just luck if they were allowed to. I don't know if they would even be allowed to. You're allowed to make things, videos, and communicate on there, but not to where you can influence or connect with your own kind on a, you know, reasonable scale, shall we say. Or to where they don't have control of it, to where it might turn the tables somehow, to where they lose control of you. They will endeavour to stop that, you know, I would think. And the plane's going over as I said that, but I'm just going to film those things as I can. Is it coming out or not? The sun was certainly impressive back 10 years ago in this local area on this spot of water here. Am I filming it? Is it coming clear? Hold on, I might just... I think this is the best of a very large number of photos. Most of them are not really very scenic, and a lot of them are blurry and out of focus. But this particular one, you know, it's like everything. If you click enough photos, even though you look at a scene with your naked eye and it might look very scenic, but then when you take the photo, you don't always get the best picture. But this one seems to be reasonably clear out of all those many photos. There's many hundred here on the thing, but there's only really a certain number that actually are clear and reasonably well framed, shall we say, which is what I'm trying to get it in properly. It's rather hard to even get the image in. I don't know if it's coming clear or not. Oh, is it clear? I can't see what I'm actually filming. I need to turn the light on, but I thought the picture might be clearer without the light. Is it? I'll try it with the light on because I can't see what I'm actually... I think it was easier taking the photos than... These photos are old. It's almost... I can hardly even remember, because, you know, as it's often hard to enjoy the moment in life. That's the problem, I think. It's being able to enjoy the moment and to live in the moment but appreciate it and kind of focus on it. That's the trick of life, but it's not something that I've been able to master. Even when I took these photos, I was concentrating, but you're always thinking of something else. You're always not fully content, shall we say, or in a higher, what they call a higher vibration. You know, and that's partly because of how this world likes to do that. That's the aim of this reality, and it's ones that control it. And you can put any names you like on, you know, a god, or you know, controlling apparent human beings. Why do some want to control others? You know, am I getting this in? Those little birds. I don't think I'm getting this in properly. Oh, but just a bit too old to bend over and do it properly. Can't see if I'm filming it properly. Mm. Oh. Mm. See, the sun's now got higher, but the birds are still, seagulls are still going across the water. But see how the sun's now, that must have been the final shot when the sun was no longer reflecting on the water and it got a bit higher. See how the birds are still going across that same spot, I think. Must have been, I can't remember now, but something like that. See, can they coming out or not? Okay, okay. One of the bravest dogs, one of the most courageous dogs that's ever lived. Totally blind there, and retrieving the ball in actually reasonably choppy waters, where that water is normally very still and calm, as I remember. I wasn't there when this was filmed, but that must have been very windy, because only the wind makes for that. You know, isn't that something? That's the only shot that's left. I know that took a few more, but for some reason they're all gone. It's funny, because normally you know, I've lost touch with being able to remember the true reality of things, and they like you to detach from your true feelings and to not fully understand what's going on a lot of the time even. And it's strange. That's the last picture on the thing. See, that's the last one. Oh, it's the last one. I wonder if I can just, let's see. Did I get these? This is the best I can do. I'm not very good on these things. Try not to get that. These are definitely the best. These are the final photos on that. You know, where you put them all onto the computer type thing. These are the last photos, but I think they're actually the best, even though there's many hundred photos there. They're at least clear. And I think I remember that when these photos were taken, that I couldn't see a thing. Like, I looked and all I could see was the sun completely in my eyes. So when I took this photo, I didn't know if it would even come out clear, because I could see the birds on the water, but I couldn't see what I was actually taking because the sun was so bright. And I thought the sun was so bright that it might even wash out the whole photo to where you couldn't see the birds or the water or anything. But even though I couldn't see what I was actually taking, it did turn out as a proper photo, which is good. Because I thought maybe it would just be one big blur of light, you know, because you really couldn't see when I put the camera up to the water, you couldn't see anything at all. It was just all light from that sun. But sometimes you get lucky with that. Get lucky if I'd have turned out. We were just going across where the sun was just coming up on the horizon, and the birds just happened to swim across that spot where I was standing, and just happened to have the old broken camera, but it was still able to take some photos that weren't washed out by the excessively bright light of the sun. And they just happened to swim across there as the sun was hitting the water in the very early morning. I don't know if that's coming out or not. I should do them. Just getting a bit weary here. I can't quite get them all up. Perhaps I'll just try to I can't do this. It's very hard to bend over and do it. I can't quite see what I'm filming here. There's just a few birds there, and the sun very big and bright. It's definitely, I wonder if it's still big and bright like that. I don't think so. I haven't seen any spectacular sunrises since then. But then again, I haven't been looking a lot either in recent times. This is the last, and they're the best photos, those ones, the few last ones. Lucky last, I guess. It didn't even look as good to the naked eye as the that one's one that didn't turn out. So you've got the sun, I don't know why, but must have got the sun, that's what it looked like. It looked much worse to me when I looked through the camera. I remember I thought, oh, these photos won't turn out, because the sun was very bright on the water when you look through, but the others did turn out. See, oh, these didn't actually turn out, no. No, they didn't turn out, all those, I don't think. Pretty sure they didn't. Also, there's no birds, so I won't worry. This is a good one. Oh, it's got washed washed out. I don't know why. It's actually clear to my eye. I don't know what's happened there. Mm. 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 It's not turning out. There's something gone funny with the camera. The picture's not turning out. Maybe they don't want me to. Where's he not turning out? This one is turning out. Oh. I don't think any of these are turning out. No, they're not. I don't know why the screen's gone all white. I don't know what that is, some sort of interference. So I better just go back to see if I can get the, I have to give that away and go back to the photos later or something. I don't think they're going to turn out. I think I better stop. Maybe they're trying to tell me that I need to do something else, because don't forget, it is all mind control. Yeah. It's not turning out, that picture, at all. It's all washed out, isn't it? I think it's all washed out. Yeah. All washed out. I was going to do these ones, but I'll have to leave it for another time because the computer or the mobile's playing up or something that's not quite right. Maybe I'll just have to fold up. Must be telling me that I need to go back. I don't think even the YouTube's going to come out on the computer. Yeah, I've gone back onto the TV. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I don't think. Perhaps I'll just, I don't know. Oh dear. Something very funny there, isn't it? It's all washed out, but the demigods are all washed out. Oh, that's a pity. Demigods are all washed out. You know, the demigods in all the different fields or the different types of videos, whether it be your demigod entertainers and performers. They're all performers. They're all actors. Everyone and everything on the internet or on any screen or computer is an actor or performer. They operate for the God entity that controls the earth. And Yeah, it says there the android does this when you try to move on. They try to move on. That simply means they try to control you from leaving their matrix or leaving their mind control, if you want to look at it that way. Unfortunately, the screen's all washed out, but it's not coming out clear. It's all washed out. So I think I better stop the actual filming. There's no point. So I'll just stop it. Also, I've lost my whole focus, because I really just wanted to record the old photos for no reason really, just because it's past photos and past time that I know I experience, but I don't experience the same now. But of course that's normal too, that's life, that things change and that you will feel it and see it different. But I don't think most of us actually experience life as normal as what we probably should, and certainly not as normal as what we would want. But maybe that's meant to be too. Maybe that's me not having the higher perspective, as they tell me. So, who knows?